Hello and welcome to, well, my hair is sticking up. Hello and welcome to Katrina's Creations. Today we are going to be doing a tutorial for making these little hexagons that I have been crocheting out of scraps and mini skeins that I'm going to be eventually sewing a multitude of them together to create a hexagon blanket. So I'm going to give you a tutorial on how to do this. What you are going to need is going to be some yarn and a hook. That's it. You can use any, I just got my hook caught in my shirt. You can use any thickness or weight of yarn that you wish. Just keep in mind that as you go up with yarn thickness or yarn weight, you're going to need to increase your hook size. So I am using an F, which is a 3.75 millimeter, and I'm using fingering weight yarn. My hexagons are roughly 4 inches across. This one that I'm showing you is a little bit larger just because I'm using a little bit thicker yarn because I thought it would film a little bit better so that you could see what I was doing. So this particular hexagon is slightly bigger than this one. Not by much, but a little bit so that you can at least see what's going on a little clearer. So I'm going to turn the camera around and we will get started with our tutorial today. The hexagons that I am making are roughly 4 inches across. You can make them bigger than this, but this is the size that I am using. So we are going to begin by making a slip knot, just like that. Insert our hook and pull it snug, and we are going to chain 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm going to go back and insert into that first loop, grab some yarn, pull it through both loops, and now you can see I have a center hole right here. I'm going to be incorporating this tail of the yarn in as I work my way around this circle. So I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to put a double crochet down into the center hole right here. The chain up that I did counts as your first post, so I have 2 posts. I'm now going to chain 2, and I'm going to put 2 more double crochets in where the hole is to the circle. So there is 1 and 2. So I now have 2 sides to the beginning of my hexagon. I'm going to do another 2 chains. 2. I'm going to do 2 more double crochets into this center hole. Again, I'm incorporating that tail as I go. So there's 1 and 2. So I now have 3 sides. I'll pull this over so you can see where we're at. We now have done 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to do 3 more sets of 2 double crochets with 2 chain spaces in between. So we do 2 chains, 1, 2, and 2 double crochets. There's 1 and 2. we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and you can see we now have 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4 with chain spaces in between each group of 2. I'm going to do 2 more double crochet. One and 2. So we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 2 chains. Two more double crochet. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to chain 2 and join into the top of our original chain up. So there we go. I still have a little bit of the tail sticking out, but I can actually trim that off. So we now have 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the beginning row of the hexagon. So now we're going to get ready to do the second row, and you can see we have our 2 chain, you can see we have our 2 double crochet here. The next row is going to be 4. Each row that you increase is going to increase by 2 double crochets. So we're going to begin this second row here. So we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to go into this stitch right here. So this right in here. That is stitch number 2. Our third stitch for this particular one, because this is our chain up beginning row, is going to go right into this chain space. So this will be 3 out of the 4. We will pick up that 4th one when we come back around. So we're now going to chain 2. You're going to begin this next one. Here's your 2. You're going to begin your first double crochet right in the chain space. So there's 1. You're going to put a double crochet on top of each of the ones from the previous row. So that'll be this stitch, and your 4th one will go into the chain space. Here I come with the 4th one. So there you can see I have the 2 from the row before and the 4 here. I'm going to do chain 2, and I'm going to repeat all the way around until I come up to the last one, which only has 3. So if you want to pause the video and work your way around the circle, and then come back when we get ready for this last section right here, this last cluster. Alright, I have gone all the way around. I'm ready to do this last cluster, which, if you remember, only has 3. The rest of these have 4 all the way around, and you can see the beginnings of the hexagon shape. So I finished this last 4, and I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to put that 4th double crochet right here in this chain space. And then I'm going to go into the 3rd stitch up. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm just going to slip stitch it into place. So now I now have 4 all the way around. So now we're ready for row 3. My hexagons only have 4 rows. You can make this as large or as small as you wanted to. Each row you're going to continue with the chain 2, but you're going to increase by 2 double crochets every time you get it larger. So we're now working on this row here, and as you can see, it has a total of 6 double crochet. So we're going to begin by chaining up 3, and that becomes your first post. 2 and 3. We're going to go into the little stitch right here and do our first double crochet. So there's 2. 3. The 4th one here is going to go into that chain space. And when we get all the way around, we're going to pick up those last 2 stitches to complete the 6. Now we're moving to this next cluster, so you're going to chain 2. Your first double crochet will be in the chain space. And then your next 4 double crochets are going to go into the stitches right along the top. So we're going to go 1, 2, that's our 3rd one, 3, and 4. So we've chained across the 4 double crochets from the row before, so we have a total of 5, and that 6th one is going to go again into that chain space. So there you can see we have the full 6, and a chain 2, and you're going to be working your way all the way around the hexagon with putting your first double crochet in the chain space, 4 double crochets across the top of the previous row, and then the 6th double crochet will again go into the chain space. So if you want to pause the video and then come back when you've gotten to the beginning of this last cluster. Alright, I'm coming up on my last cluster right here where I'm going to add that extra 2 stitches. So you can see we now have the hexagon is definitely forming. So let's do our last cluster here. We are going to chain 2. We're going to put a double crochet in this chain space like that. And then we're going to get this first stitch right here. There we go. We're going to join to our chain up space right here. And we've completed row 3. And you can see each cluster now has 6 posts to it, or 6 double crochets. This is going to be the last row if you are making a hexagon that is 4 inches across. So this time, again, we're going to be increasing the double crochets by 2, so this last row, each cluster will have 8 total double crochets. So this is our post number 1. It counts as a double crochet. We're going to go into this stitch here. Going to work across the top stitches of our previous row. So I have 4. The 5th one will be here, and the 6th one here, and then we'll have a chain space there. So we have 4 up here. We're going to do our double crochet into the chain space, chain 2, And then here's where we have a full 8. So we're going to double crochet into the chain space. Then we are going to double crochet across all 6 double crochets from the previous row. So you'll be going into these stitches going across the top. And then you will put your final 8th double crochet in the chain space. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double crochets. So I've worked across all of the double crochets from the row before, and then I'm going to put my last one, the 8th one, into the chain space. So you can see I have a total, we have 2, 4, 6, and 8. So you're going to chain 2 and continue all the way around until we get to this last one that we need to complete. So if you want to pause the video here and work your way around and then rejoin me when I get ready for this last cluster. Alright, I have worked my way all the way around. I have my last cluster here that has 8. I'm going to complete the one here that only has 5, and that will finish up my hexagon. So I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2. My first double crochet is going to go right in here in the chain space. So there we go. And then I'm going to put 2 more into the tops of these 2 double crochets from the previous row. So there is 1 and 2. So I've added the 3 total. When I add that to the 5 I already had, that gives me my 8. And I'm going to join the round. So here I have my hexagon. So I hope you have found this helpful. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.